So normally when I'm playing the Pokemon trading card game, I'm using this card right here, Miraidon. However, welcome to Future Box Fridays, where we're going to be taking a new look, or a different look, at a different Miraidon. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the highest placing Future Box list at the most recent Pokemon Regional in Merida. Ionis Rodrigo Garcia Lopez. They came in 83rd place. With that said, if you guys want to buy any Pokemon cards at all, check out the sponsor of the channel, ComfyHobbies.com, and use code SneakerTalk to save 5% off. I have them linked down below, and whenever you guys buy cards from them, it definitely supports the channel big time. Starting things off, we have Miraidon at 3 copies. It has a very strong attack, peak acceleration, which is really good. You do 40 damage for 1 energy, and then you get to accelerate 2 basic energies in your deck onto your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So you can really easily set up your Iron Hands EX this way. 4 copies of Iron Hands. He is the main monster, the big boss of this deck. We have 2 attacks. We got Arm Press for 3 energies. You do 160, which is all right. And then you have the main attack everybody knows and loves, Ampia very much, for 1 lightning and 3 colorless. You do 120 damage, and if you knock a Pokemon out, you're taking an additional prize card. So you can always set up that big Iron Hands EX Ampia very much attack with the help of a baby Miraidon, softening up the Pokemon beforehand. But on top of that, because we already know that 120 damage isn't all that much, we also have the help of Iron Crown EX. Iron Crown EX has this great ability called Cobalt Command, and for every Iron Crown EX you have on your bench, your future Pokemon will do an additional 20 more damage. So this means that your Iron Hands can do a lot more than that base 120, and of course we have some more ways to boost those damage numbers up even higher with the help of Future Booster Energy Capsule. Not only does the Future Booster Energy Capsule let you do 20 more damage, but it also gives you free retreat as well, which is really handy if you want your Iron Hands to run away after taking a giant hit. The only other future Pokemon in this list is the Iron Bundle. It's always great to have Iron Bundle because being able to gust out your opponent's active Pokemon and them being forced to give you something else is really strong, especially because you can just search for this card with a ability or with an item card like Techno Radar. This also allows your Iron Hands to hit that nice baby Pokemon on the bench, or just something else that you know is going to get hit really hard. And there's only 2 other Pokemon in this list. We have the staple Fezandipiti EX for that additional draw. You draw 3 cards if your Pokemon gets knocked out the previous turn. And of course you also have Mew EX in here as well for some additional draw power, and can also be a attacker as well from time to time. But yeah, the fact that Mew EX has free retreat built into it and that restart ability is very handy. Next up, let's take a look at the supporter lineup. We have 4 copies of Arven. Arven is just one of these standard go-to supporters for so many decks out there, especially Future Box, because we always want to be able to grab a useful tool, which we run 6 tools of in this deck. We have 4 Future Booster Energy Capsules and 2 Heavy Batons. Heavy Baton is basically like a reverse EXP share. If your Pokemon gets knocked out by damage, then you get to move 3 energies from that Pokemon to your benched Pokemon. So you can just chain your attackers very easily that way. So you're going to use your Arven to grab either the Capsule or the Baton. If you're being aggressive, you're going to go for the Capsule play. If you're being defensive, you're going to go for the Baton play. And of course, we're not playing Iron Hands without playing Electric Generators as well. So your Arvens, we're going to typically grab you that Electric Generator. And if it's not grabbing you a Generator, it's going to grab you a Techno Radar to set up your board with your basic simple attackers like Miraidon. Or of course, you can get additional damage on the board with Iron Crown to pump up those numbers. It's also very handy using the Techno Radar with Mew EX in mind, because you can thin your hand out to nothing and then draw additional cards with Mew EX. So a very easy combo you can pull off. Next up, we have 3 copies of Judge. Judge, of course, is a very disruptive supporter card. Most decks are, they're used to getting hit by Iono. However, Judge is extra good, especially early game, because getting them down to 4 cards instead of giving them 5 or 6 is great. 3 copies of Judge. You might want to tinker around with the Judge count. You maybe want to put in maybe 1 Iono so you can do the late game Iono play, but 3 Judges is what we have for this list today. Next up, we have 3 copies of Professor's Research. Seeing a lot of cards is always good, and there's a lot of good cards in this deck, and you don't really need to maintain certain combo pieces in your hand, so hitting a Research never really feels too bad. All of your tools and stuff like that can typically land onto your Pokemon before you have to discard your hand with Research. Next up, we got 3 copies of Boss's Orders. You always want to be able to amp the exact target you want. So boss's orders at 3. We got 4 generators, 4 Techno Radars. Techno Radar is busted. It's like a VIP pass for future Pokemon. You just have to discard a card from your hand. Best of all, the card Techno Radar doesn't specify it has to go onto the bench. Techno Radar puts those future Pokemon into your hand. Then those Pokemon cards out of your deck as well if you want to. 1 copy of Night Stretcher in here too. And then we got Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher has always been the go-to ace spec in any form of future box. We have seen, you know, people tinker around with that reboot pod, but reboot pod isn't that great. So the fact that we have Arven that we can just use to search out the Prime Catcher on demand, basically a 4th copy of boss, or essentially you have 8 copies of boss if you consider each copy of Arven a pseudo boss, because it's basically a Prime Catcher. The stadium is very unique. We got Lively Stadium. This is the stadium that I feel like I'm on after I have a bunch of caffeine. All of your basic Pokemon, all of them in general, just every basic Pokemon on the field will get an additional 30 health. 30 health. That's really good. That allows you to fix some numbers. So your Iron Hands can last longer, your Miraidon can last longer, your Miraidon can't get blown up from something like a Dusknoir, for example. Just that plus 30 can come in clutch, and you really don't mind too often giving your opponent an additional plus 30 because you have so much additional damage you can just stack with the help of your Iron Crown EXs and your Future Booster Energy Capsules that the plus 30 is kind of negligible. And then last but not least, we have 13 Lightning Energies and 2 Psychic Energies as well. Do keep in mind that Iron Crown EX can be an attacker at times. And there's your quick breakdown of Future Box in 2025. Let's hop into some games right now and see how this deck can perform. And of course, if you guys want to hang out some more live for the live streams, we're going to be bringing back the live streams. I believe this Sunday or Monday, we're going to bring back the live streams. So make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on those upcoming streams. So for this deck, you always want to go second because you want to be able to attack with your Miraidon on that very first turn of attacking and just set up those Iron Hands and go, go, go. This is a turbo style deck. It's very much a linear style of deck. So if you're a newer player, it's a deck that you can definitely pick up that isn't too expensive either and get your reps in and just have some fun with it. You don't have to worry too much about the Badoo locking because we do have Professor's Research to just really see a bunch of more Pokemon cards. But if you're not getting Badoo locked, then you're going to be able to utilize your Arven instead. One really nice thing about the current meta is we're really seeing a lot of Squawkabilly and a lot of Lumineon. So just being able to go for that easy 3 prize turn with Iron Hands EX, amp you very much, is very good to see. We got the Carmine here. Are we looking at Ceruledge EX? I would not be surprised. And there it is. There is the Charcadet coming down, the attachment for turn, and we're probably going to see a pass right here. And we'll see what we can do on our turn. But getting that turn 1 knockout is very easy to do with the help of Miraidon and its extra, the extra Pokemon we have, Iron Crown EX, in our list. So we're going to kick things off by attaching to the Miraidon. We'll swap into it here. And so right now we're doing 40 damage. We're going to be able to accelerate 2 energies onto hands. However, it is very tempting to just research this hand away. That way we can that way we can get into some Iron Crown EXs and then start knocking out. There's also the boss play we can do here, but I think we're fine with going for I think I want to play the Lively Stadium. Let me think about this here. Iron Crown EX means we do 20 more additional damage, so we can do 40 more damage, and then the tool is another 20. So if we're doing plus 60, that's 100. If we give them the stadium, that's going to put them at 100. So I think we're going to go for the Lively Stadium play here. And honestly, I think we can Mew for 1. Yeah, let's go for the Mew for 1 here. Hopefully it's nothing we don't... Oh, that hurt. That hurts because now we're going to discard that boss. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for the research play. And unfortunately, we only got 1 crown. So we are just going to go ahead and put the capsule onto the hands. And we are going to swing in for a nice little 80, I believe, here. Yeah. So 80. Or we could go weaken up the next Pokemon. Honestly, I'm kind of down for this Hyper Blower play. The Hyper Blower play. This is just going to allow us to put some pressure onto this Charcadet, so when it does evolve, we're going to be able to really threaten it with our Iron Hands, because that's the only Pokemon we really have to worry about. Also, fun thing to note is because we have 2 Psychic Energies, never forget that we can always utilize the other attack that Miraidon has here, Barking Strike for 160, and just always keep in mind that we're always able to boost these numbers up by anywhere between 20 damage for 1 crown or 1 capsule to, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. So you can boost up to 100 damage with all the damage mods in our deck. So here I'm feeling confident we're going to be able to knock out this Surledge. So let's go ahead and judge. We're always going to be attacking with this Iron Hands here. So let's go ahead and get the Iron Hands on there. We'll use Fezandipiti. And, well, because we did put in that 80 damage, we're able to swing for the knockout now on this particular Surledge. And now they don't really have a backup attacker. We're going to throw down the future Capsule just in case they want to retreat lock us, because always keep in mind that our future Pokemon are thick Pokemon. And 4 retreat cost on an Iron Hands or 2 retreat cost on an Iron Crown is never a pleasant experience to try and retreat. You can always keep in mind, you might want to keep your future booster energy capsules in your hand, just kind of like as a switch. So that way, if your opponent does play something like a Lost Vacuum, your free retreat, you know, way is no longer disappearing. All right, so that's a good first game right there. We took game 1 against Surledge EX. Game number 2, we're playing against Omega U. And you might notice that my Arceus rank has fallen below 1500. That's because I've been experimenting with some really crazy rogue wonky decks from my little catalog of decks, including Arbok and Weezing and a Team Rocket deck and Wugtrio. So I've been up and down on this ladder. It's been rough. It's been rough, but I just quickly climb back up with Miraidon and it's no problem. So let's see how game number 2 goes. And it looks like we're going first. So we're going to see how this deck is going to operate when we're forced to go first. I think we just always throw in the Miraidon since it's a nice little single prize option. We don't mind getting knocked out. And they are pre-bunching something as well. Let's see what we got. Ooh, this is scary. Flygon EX, I believe, gets to 1-hit KO our Iron Hands. So we are going to have to get quite lucky here. I'm going to actually thin out my hands to grab some more additional stuff here. I'm scared. This isn't looking too good here. We're going to go Techno Radar this away. We'll grab some more. We grab another crown and another crown. And so now we can go attach to hands, attach to Miraidon, or attach to hands. I think we're safe to attach to Miraidon, but I really want to, we really have to go 2-2-2. So I think we're just gonna try and go for some big generator play in this game here. Yeah, we're gonna have to go for Arven for Electric Generator, and then we always can grab the Capsule as well. We'll see what we do here, and then we got Muse Restart. All right, so this is looking scary. This is also a deck that I do want to build, Flygon EX. It's a fun pseudo control. It's a control style deck. You definitely would say it's a control style deck. The premise of Flygon EX is smack my active for a very cheap and easy attack cost, and then you switch into something that is really, really annoying for me to deal with. So whether it's going to be a Mimikyu because you're going to try and go for a defensive play, or maybe you're going to go for the Pecharunt and also poison me. That way we just really get hurt defensively. It's annoying. It's quite annoying. All right, let's see what we get here. Also, discarding the boss's orders was probably a bad idea. It was probably more safe to discard an Arven since we have more copies of Arven than we do boss. And do keep in mind, we don't play anything like a pal pad, so being able to recover supporters, it's not likely. All right, so here we might be able to go for the amp play. All right, let's go for the generator. And there is also merit to going for the 1-hit KO on the Trap Inch. I think I want to do that, because I think the second that they set up a Flygon, I think we kind of lose. I don't want to give them that win condition. So we're going to actually go Prime Catcher Capsule. And we're going to, we'll put the Capsule on the, here. We'll go Prime Catcher up this. Bring in the Mew. Mew has free retreat. We also have more ways to draw. We got the energy onto the Miraidon. And we can go restart for 2. Nice, we hit a generator. And then we're going to go Electric Generator now. Because once we attack with the Miraidon, we're going to be thinning out more energies from our deck. So always want a generator before peak acceleration. And now we'll be able to have a knockout and some additional energies hitting the board, meaning our Iron Hands will be able to put in some work. One thing I want to note is typically Miraidon does have a harder time against decks running something like a Mimikyu, especially since you might note that Azul's first place regional list doesn't have a Zapdos. So your only attacker into Mimikyu in a lot of Miraidon lists is going to be your Mew EX, copying their attack Ghost Die with the genome hacking. But if they have a miss energy on it, the Mimikyu just does, it's indestructible. So without the Zapdos, you're cooked against control. So this Future Box decks does have a better time, I would say, against certain control decks because we have built-in answers. Miraidon can knock out the Mimikyu. Iron Crown can also just attack around the Mimikyu as well. But it looks like we're going to go into Item Lock with Poison. So Miraidon's about to get knocked out in between turns with this additional bonus damage from the Petrun. But we're going to be able to amp back and really be up in the prize trade. For the endgame attack, if we're able to go hit this Latias for 3 prizes, we just really cook them alive here. And now we have the Trap Inch on the bench here to worry about too. So unfortunately, we don't have any way to gust up that Trap Inch unless we Mew restart into a boss's orders. And we're also item locked here too. No, we're not item locked. We can wait. Why does it say I can? Oh, I don't have an electric Pokemon on the bench. All right, so we're gonna go discard the lightning here and bring out the next set of hands. And I really want to get that boss's orders. So what we're gonna do here is go hands, go generator. Generator might hit nothing, and that's okay. Ideally, you want to see it hit something. And then we're going to go attach to the Iron Hands here. We're going to go restart for 3. If we get a boss, we're great. No boss, but it's no big deal. We do have Amp You very much for 2 prizes right there. If our Iron Hands EX does get knocked out by a potential Flygon EX attack, we'll at least have this baton to move over those energies to the next hands. And if we're able to get a boss, we're just in a phenomenal spot, because they always have to retreat when they attack with Flygon. Alright, so we got the Ultra Ball coming in. Discarding Ultra Ball and fighting energy. What are we going to see from them here? Will we see the Flygon? Rare Candy Flygon? Are we going to see a Fezandipiti grab instead? So they just always have potential draw on board. But if they're getting more Pokemon knocked out, probably doesn't feel too great. My guess is going to be a Flygon EX. Yeah, there's the Flygon. And we're going to see Flygon EX in action. We could do Flygon Fridays as well. maybe we just find up a Pokemon we can have tie into Friday. It doesn't always have to be Future Box, but Future Box Friday does have a nice ring to it, but it could be Flygon Fridays as well. And so now we unfortunately don't have a way to attack this Mimikyu. Alright, so we're going to put the Psychic Energy onto Iron Crown here. And, ooh, yikes. Well, it's not a big deal, but we're going to have to just pass the turn with an Arm Press. So we don't have the, we don't have the Petrunt in the active anymore to do the, I believe, 5 additional bonus damage counters for poison. All right, we got the Nest Ball. What are we going to see? Radiant Sneasler. All right, so this is going to up the poison damage by 20. So in between turns, we're going to get hit for 30 for poison. Don't think they got, yeah, so they just pass. No way to retreat or attack with their potential Flygon. Nice. All right, so we got Generator off that. So we want a Generator here so we can increase our odds at drawing a supporter. That's really good because we get 2. Then we can attach for turn. And we're gonna just go arm press for funsies instead of passing for turn. But we are gearing up for this Iron Crown attack very, very soon, which is great because we'll be able to snipe the Bidoof and soften up something else as well. Maybe the Latias, just so we guarantee. All right, we don't even need to go for the Latias. As long as we snipe the Bidoof and yeah, snipe the Bidoof and then amp something else, we win the game. So we're in a great, great spot here. There's the pass for turn. And now it's time for Iron Crown EX to come in clutch. Oh, we also got the Judge as well. I think we're gonna hit them with the Judge, just so I have a, you know, way to get boss's orders in hand for the next turn potentially if I need it. Nice. We'll go ahead and retreat, which does feel god-awful because it's 4 energies we're giving up, but it's not that big of a deal. We can also go ahead and go Lively Stadium. We go Generator for nothing. Now we got Mew since we have our hand not at 3 cards. And I believe we actually have a really nice resistance to fighting, which we do, yeah. So our resistance to fighting is really good as well. So 50 onto the Bidoof for the knockout. And what's the effect again? This attack does 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance or by any effects on those Pokemon. So this whole prevent damage, it's negated as well. So that is also pretty great too. We're gonna go ahead and put it onto the Trapinch here. That way we can go for a big arm press attack on that if it comes down to it. Oh wait, I just totally threw. I did not realize I was giving enough health to Bidoof to live. All right, soft throw misplay. For whatever reason, I thought you do the additional 70 to the 20 to the active, but because we attacked the bench Pokemon with Iron Crown, the bonus damage from the capsule doesn't kick in. It's only for the active Pokemon. So what I thought was going to be knockout is not a knockout. You have just indeed witnessed a potential critical misplay right there. So let's see what they do here next. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh my goodness, that is embarrassing. I still think we win because of the dominant position we're currently in here. Hitting us with the poison. Here comes the big 140. And then we're gonna get the runaway to the Mimikyu. Can we boss up this Flygon and KO it? I want to make sure the math is mathing here. So we got arm press for 160, 180, 200, 220. So we need, to hit that nice 260, we need another Iron Crown on the board, along with a capsule on this dude here. So that's not happening here. But we can go attach. And in this case, we shall go Twin Shottles, this time actually knocking out the Bidoof. And then we're going to also hit the Flygon again. And typically Flygon would not get hit from the damage of the attack. However, Iron Crown's effect goes through the Terra typing defense mechanism that is on the Flygon. So now our Iron Crown will get knocked out, but all we need to do is boss Flygon for game here, and we should be, yeah, I think we just win. Yeah, so we win. Funny misplay you guys got to see. I didn't even realize it, but you know what happened. It's it's one of those things that is an oversight. Just make sure you don't do that yourself. Learn from my critical misplays, so you don't have to. And another misplay is that he has 210 health, but we are now able to do 220 because a second ago we didn't have knockout. Oh my god, that would have been super embarrassing. Alright, so that's game 2 against Flygon EX in Arceus rank, mind you. I forgot to say it. We're in Arceus rank. It's fun to say Arceus rank because it means a little bit more than it used to. It doesn't mean a whole lot, but it does mean more than it used to. All right, so there's your game number 2 with Flygon. And now we're going to squeeze one more quick game in here before we wrap up the video and I film some other stuff as well. All right, so here we go. Game number 3 with Future Box. All right, we're playing against TenBen23 for this game right here. So our opponent chose first, so that is excellent news for us because our deck really just is at full power going second. We really do not benefit at all from going first, honestly. And we're gonna put Miraidon into the active here, and that's it. No other info. All right, cool. We're playing against Raging Bolt for game 3. And I absolutely love this artwork. Like, look at this artwork. This is phenomenal. So sick. So sick. If I was a filthy Raging Bolt player, I would absolutely use that artwork too. But I am a Miraidon believer, not a Raging Bolt rager. And that is it. An attached pass. Raging Bolt, more like Raging Brick. All right, so we're gonna have a really strong turn here. We're gonna start off with the crown. We'll go energy, hands, Arven gets us our future capsule and additional Pokemon on the board. We're gonna grab 2 more Iron Crowns, bingo bongo, and ooh, we can two-shot this if he doesn't knock us out. There's a good chance we're two-shotting it because do also keep in mind that energy is a grass energy. It is not a lightning or fighting. So we might have a 4th game if this is really the real Raging Brick. Also, Raging Bolt did not perform at all at the most recent regional in Meridia. But Miraidon's insane right now. I think Miraidon might be the best deck in format right now. It's definitely in the top 3 for consideration. Definitely the best turbo deck at the moment, just because we don't have to rely on our generators as our only form of acceleration. We also have Magneton as well, and we don't need the item cards to set up necessarily as much as other decks, just because we have tandem unit with our Miraidon. But I think we have game here unless they bench another Pokemon, because we have Iron Hands on the bench. So we could just attach and attack. But the Crispin's rough to see. That's not Sada. You really wanted to see a Sada come from their side. So I think we're gonna have to go a 4th game here with our Future Box list, just because I want to give you guys some more gameplay. But yeah, very strong showing from the deck so far. We're just dropping our hands and I was gonna say we could amp, but we don't play DTE in this list. That is one thing I want to note. We don't have double turbo energy, so our only way is to just do it normally. But there is our knockout onto Raging Bolt EX. And if we had an actual a 4th Iron Crown EX, we had knockout just with the arm press, which is insane. 240 for arm press. Pretty good. All right, so let's just do one more, just because that was a win in 2 turns. Let's get a 4th game in here, and then I'm gonna film some other vids. All right, maybe we get to 1500 off this next win. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. If you guys enjoy Future Box or have anything you want to discuss regarding this deck or any other decks, let me know in the comments down below. But I would love to get your input on Future Box. If you guys are playing it yourself, what are some tech cards you guys are experimenting with? I really enjoy Future Box, and if Miraidon is, it's not a if, it is a matter of time, because Miraidon's gonna get nerfed in post rotation. We're losing a lot of strong Pokemon like Raichu V, we're losing Forest Seal Stone. We're losing a lot of great assets in Miraidon, but it might be, post rotation, it might be Future Box's time to shine, especially in a Bidoof format. Being able to knock out a Pokemon or set up a really big amp play and then have your energies just flood the board feels great. And of course, we're going to be able to experiment with other strong Pokemon like Iron Thorns EX in the list, because Iron Thorns is also getting additional damage as well. So you might want to experiment with Iron Thorns in your list as well. It's all going to be meta dependent, but this base list that we have been cooking with here so far, that took, I believe, 84th place at the recent regional, is a very, very respectable and real deck. All right, here we go, playing against EVEX in some form, some evolution box, of course. And are we gonna get fan called? Yes, there's the turn 1 fan call. We'll see what are we gonna see? I'm actually quite curious. Another Eevee, Noctowl, and a Hoot Hoot. Okay. And a pass coming up. No, we got to switch. Are they gonna give us the Rotom? Yeah, they're giving us the Rotom here. Okay, let's see what we can do here. We'll do that. We will go ahead and attach return. And I think we just want to Techno Radar and start setting up our next Pokemon, our hands. So we're going to Techno Radar the research away, grab our next set of Pokemon, bonus damage, our target for our attack. We swinging for 80 here, so we're gonna go ahead and I believe let's go Capsule. Oh, this is not Capsule. Let's go Baton on the hands, Capsule on the Dawn, and here we go. Taking the first prize, we'll slap on 2 Lightning to the Iron Hands. And so next turn we're probably gonna research, most likely. And we'll see what they have for us on their next turn. So we do know they're going to have access to their Noctowl Drool Seeking. So they're going to get any 2 trainers. So they really have a full deck that they can just really get whatever they want. They'll probably grab a Terra Orb to grab their evolution of choice. And then maybe a Crispin as well to fulfill their attack cost that they want to hit. Ooh, so their ace spec is the Crystal, which makes a lot of sense for these evolution decks from what I've been seeing. And now they have attack on board without needing to attach an energy. All right, so this is a very similar to attack to Miraidon. Burning Charge is basically peak acceleration, but with some extra attack cost and extra damage. So they're also accelerating 2 basic energies for 130 damage. So Miraidon does get knocked out here. We would live if we had the Lively Stadium on the board. That would put us at 140, 10 HP higher just to live. Terra Orb coming in. There's the next Flareon as well. So they're going to be able to set up their Pokemon for the following turns of attacks as well. So basically the playstyle of these decks are very, very similar in terms of the attacks that we're using. And now we're going to see the Burning Charge. So they're really trying to be aggressive here and hurt our hands like that. So we're going to be forced to do an arm press, unfortunately. Since we did commit the Baton, we do not have access to retreating. But being able to potentially take 3 prizes from this Flareon looks good too if we're able to boss and amp it later on in the game. All right, let's see what we can do here. A Lively Stadium, very good. A Lively Stadium means... Well, I think we're just going to play it anyway. So we go Lively Stadium. We will attach return. And Arven really doesn't get us too much here. So we're just going to go ahead and rip the bandit off and hit our research. Nice. All right. So we got the hands. We got the Fez. And we got the Jenny. And this is really, really good. Because now we're going to be able to attack with Ampy very much on this next turn. Potentially. Because we're going to have these 3 energies move on to the hands and whatever else we want. If we wanted to go single prize route, we could attack with Miraidon instead. And then we also have our draw for Fez for 3. So I want us to basically, we don't even need boss. So we're going to take 3 prizes from this Flareon. That is one advantage we have over their deck. The fact that we have a ability to take additional prize cards. They don't have a Pokemon that we can see that takes additional prize cards or like a way to do so. So we're really going to get to bully them in the prize trade here. But they do have the one-shot capability for 280. So that's one thing they have going for them. The 280 one-shot KO. And basically they have the consistency of the Noctowl engine. Because we have, well, bonus damage is our little gimmick that we're rocking with. All right. What do we get? We got the boss for the next turn, so that's actually really big too. Here we can set up the next amp. So we're gonna grab that. We're going to go Arven. We're going to grab the Baton to ensure the energies move over. We can also grab the Generator as well. And just look at the way this deck is flowing right now. This deck feels amazing. We're going to hit one at least. Oh, two. The cherry on top. We haven't even attached for turn yet, which is kind of nuts too. So we'll go ahead and just attach for turn. And now we can go Amp You Very Much for 3 prize cards here. And now all we have to do is take a knockout with Amp You Very Much on one of their single prize Pokemon. And if the scenario calls for it, we could potentially just go Arm Press into the Jolteon as well. But the fact that they don't have a Noctowl that they can evolve or evolve into is really helpful for us too, which means they can't disrupt our hand by searching for something like an Iono. So they're grabbing the switch, and yeah, there goes our Iron Hands. There he goes, and we'll just throw these energies all over the board. And I just want to make sure we have the math correct, so we're always going to promote our free retreater in Miraidon. And yeah, we have the math correct. I don't have to do anything fancy. I don't have to throw my game. We can go Iron Crown, put the capsule on. We can go Fez for fun. We got even more juice in the tank with this generator. Oh my lord, it is the gift that keeps giving. Now we can retreat into Iron Hands EX. And we can go boss into the Noctowl and go Amp for 400 damage and take 2 prizes. So, Future Box, feeling great, feeling fantastic with the Future Box. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below. Let's see if we can get 60,000 subscribers by the end of this spring. And yeah, you guys can click on screen to hang out some more, watch some more Miraidon gameplay. Maybe a regional vlog is on screen here too. Thank you guys for watching, and it was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys today. I'll see you next time. Peace out.